Good evening, team. How are we? Very, very, very warm welcome. Investing in Dubai, everything you need to know. Firstly, guys, can we just make sure we can hear me, we can see me, can we see the slides? Pop a yes in the chat for me. So lovely to have so many people on, guys. I hope you've all had a lovely day. Whether you have been surviving today, whether you've been thriving today, you have made it here. So congratulations. Thank you so much for jumping on. Yep, we can hear me. Okay, that is a good start. Whilst we are in the chat, guys, also, if you wouldn't mind, pop in where you are dialing in from, where you are on your investment journey. I want to get to know the room a little bit more. A very warm welcome. Luke, Mark, thank you for joining, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Investing in Dubai, everything you need to know. We have a full packed session. Genuinely, like, we have got so much stuff to get through. We've got Fiona, we've got Susan from the UK, Chris in the UK. Guys, we've got a lot of UK home from me. Love to see it. London, a lot from London. We've got some in Dubai. I know it's late with us, right? Okay, so I appreciate your time this late at night. Liverpool, home from home, Bristol, Dubai, the UK, newbie to investing. Don't you worry, my friend, you are in the right place. We've got some investors in the room. Maybe you're looking to diversify. Maybe you're looking to grow the portfolio. Either way, you are in the right place. A lot of London-based guys tonight, okay? York, fantastic. Okay, guys, Essex, Manchester, Kyle, home from home. I love it. I'm from there. But obviously now living in Dubai, South Wales, we really have it all going on. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. As I mentioned, we have so much good stuff to get through. We have investors from all over the world, and regardless of background, experience, wherever we are on our property journey, we're all here for the same reason. We are ready to make some money and get our money working harder for us. So I appreciate it. Linda, welcome. Nick, welcome. Guys, let's jump in because we do have an awful lot to go through. And talking about our time together, let's just touch on how we're going to maximize our time together, because we have 1 hour together, and trust me, we have a lot to go through. But what is very, very special about this hour that we have just carved out for ourselves is because life is busy, right? Okay, we've probably been working today. We're stressed, we're busy, we've got friends, we've got family, we've got everything going on. We're working hard for our money. Tonight, we have the opportunity to get our money working harder for us, which is a rarity, okay? So have a notebook ready. There's a lot to take in. We're going to go through a lot. You're going to want to remember it, so let's get it down. And also a note that this is an interactive session. This isn't a one-way conversation. So keep the questions, keep that chat box lighting up. I want to see the questions coming in so that you can get out the most of the session. We are going to have a dedicated Q&A time at the end of this session, but if I see a question, if it's on topic and we can go through it, I most certainly will. So with that, let's dive in. Okay. Starting off with a quick disclaimer for everyone, because the real reason is no one really likes webinars. And the true reason people don't like webinars is because we don't like being sold to. So I'm going to go all Alex Hormozi. I'm going to start off by saying we have nothing to sell you. Okay, quite honestly, even if I wanted to talk price points, locations, units, projects, by the end of this session, that unit, it would have sold out, it would have gone. The market moves so quickly here. Also, on top of that, we have a lot to discuss before we even start looking at units, okay? It's how to navigate the market, locations, all that good stuff. It's all the stuff we need before it comes to the bricks and mortar itself. Rosa, is this recorded? It's a great question. We will have the recorded session recorded for everyone. I will release it at the end of the session as well. So I will definitely get that across to you and for anyone else who is looking for it. So if we can't tell you anything, what are we actually going to run through today? Today, I have done my job. If you walk away knowing if investing in Dubai is right for you, okay? We're going to look at exactly how to navigate the market so that you can maximize those returns. But I'm also going to help you understand how we can mitigate the risks. So we're doing this safely, so we're doing it securely. To put it very, very simply, I want to save you time and I want to make you money. So let's go. Okay, so we touched on a little bit about what I'm going to go through, why I'm here, but can we just start with why you are here? What is it in particular that has pointed you in the right direction of the Dubai market? Okay, maybe you've seen something online, maybe you're just curious. I've seen that we have some investors already in the chat. Are you looking to diversify? Maybe you are looking to move here. Guys, will you let me know in the chat where we're sat right now? Okay, amazing. We've got some people looking to move. Well, I've just moved myself, so hopefully I can even shed some insights on that. We've got some landlords who are interested in investing in Dubai. You've seen it online. I agree with you. It's absolutely everywhere. The 2040 master plan, we are going to run through all of that good stuff. We've got some people looking to move, some people looking to invest. I think some people are curious. 0% tax. I love to see it. Absolutely. That's why a lot of people are here, right? Okay, we're going to go through it all. You are in the right place, so great to see it. And I am on back-to-back calls with investors, actually a lot of UK investors daily. And the things I am getting every single day is that the UK market is getting tougher. I'm a UK investor myself. I feel it. I know it. I know what we're going through, okay? It is getting tougher. Costs are increasing. Margins are decreasing. There's increasing mortgage costs. We've got capital gains tax, rate increases, stamp duty increases. I am not joking. The day and hour that was announced and implemented, I got so many calls the next day, like, Katie, that is the final straw. What have you got for me? Okay, increased legislation, more compliance, EPC changes, capital appreciation slowing down. The list goes on and on and on. And it is making it harder and profits are getting a lot less. So why are people turning to the Dubai market? It is a very good question. Because we can deploy the same capital, the same cash, the same amount of money, even the same strategy, okay? We're still talking bricks and mortar here, but by putting it in a different market, we're getting way better results. The same capital can work 2 to 3 times harder in Dubai than it can in the UK. And I like to say it like these two vehicles here, we can invest in either of them. Both are designed to get you from point A to point B. One of them is just going to get us there a whole lot quicker. The returns, okay, we're investors. Numbers are important. Capital appreciation in Dubai last year was 27.5% versus over in the UK, we were sat on average at 4%. Average rental yields, on average last year in Dubai, they were sitting at 8% versus when we look at the UK market, on average, we were sat at 4%. Investment benefits, what a concept, okay? It feels like every other market is making it harder and making it less profitable. Here, they're actually incentivizing investment, okay? They want to attract investment here, and a few ways they do that. They have a visa scheme in place. Now there's 2 different types of visas we can look at, but the minimum investment you are going to need to unlock one of these is a property value of 750k AED. For my Great British guys, we're looking about 150,000 Great British pounds. If your property is worth that, you unlock a visa, which means you can live here, you can stay in the country for as long as you want. It's going to give you preferable mortgage rates, which is always a benefit. It gives you a whole host of benefits across the country itself, but also the one that we've already seen in that chat box already, the 0% tax, and that's 0% on your personal income, capital gains, inheritance tax. That's a huge, huge, huge one. And tenant problems. Landlords in the chat for me, drop a yes if you have ever suffered a tenant problem. Okay, I have had my fair share of problems. I have seen it all. I've seen weed farms. I have seen rental arrears, tenants literally not paying for months and months and months, tenants trashing the place, okay? It is hard work. Here, tenant problems, we can forget about them, okay? Typically, you are going to see your rental payment paid upfront for the year. That is a huge, huge win for us as investors. Firstly, no void periods, okay? Yes, I'm seeing so many yeses in the chat, okay? You can definitely relate to this one then, okay? So you're going to get your rental payment paid upfront for the year, which means no void periods. Not only that, a lot of the issues that do occur fall on the tenant to put right, okay? So you're going to have a lot less headaches, and we're going to be making it more money. And for my UK investors that are in the room, and it seems like there are a lot of us here, 10% off right now. Summer sale, let's go. We'll take it, okay? The pound has never been stronger. So in terms of a time to buy in the market, your money's going further. There has never been a better time to get involved. And when I go through all of that good stuff, it almost sounds too good to be true. And this is one of the questions that I had. And that's why it took me so long to move over to this market. Is it all too good to be true? Okay, so I wanted to run through some live data to actually bring this to life of what's happening in the market, what is going on here. This is pulled off the live DLD, which is the Dubai Land Department, real transactions that are happening in the market. This is a 5-bedroom villa on the Palm. We all know it. We all love it. If you were lucky enough to be an early investor in that Palm, this particular villa would have cost you 570,000 Great British pounds. Guys, for the purpose of this session tonight, I am going to talk in Great British. I just think it's easier for all in the same currency. The AED alternative is on the left-hand side, but I hope that makes sense. So this one was purchased for 570 Great British pounds, sold more recently for 7.1 million. That's a 1,157% increase, or a 12x growth. That is insane. Tell me where else that is happening. Another very, very iconic building we have going on in Dubai. This is the Royal Atlantis on the Palm, a 2-bedroom apartment here about 3 years ago, bought off plan, would have cost you 1.5 million Great British pounds. More recently sold for 3.5 million. That's an increase in value of 130%, which means it's more than doubled the property value in 2 years. Now, don't forget, these are all mortgageable, okay? We can get finance on these properties. So when we're looking at the ROI on our cash actually invested, it is insane. And I think when people see those types of examples, also, when you see online the glitz, the glamour, the Porsches, everything else, people naturally say all the time, oh, hang on a minute, but you must have to be a millionaire to invest in Dubai. And quite honestly, you can spend as much or as little as you want to in this market. So I wanted to take you through an entry-level product with a top-tier developer. I'm going to talk later on why a top-tier developer is so important, but this is an entry-level product, fantastic developer, great quality, great standard, ticks every box, okay? But let's jump through the numbers of what this is going to look like. So an entry-level product in this development was costing 690,000 AED. That's the equivalent of about 145,000 Great British pounds, okay? So to secure this unit, to get this booked, you needed a 20% down payment deposit. You also required a 4% DLD. Okay, so DLD over here is Dubai Land Department. It is your equivalent of your stamp duty. It is a 4% flat fee across anything that you buy in Dubai. On that property as well, you've also got a small admin fee, about £1,000. So all in to book this unit, it was 35,000 Great British pounds down. Now, this particular project, it was on a 50-50 payment plan. So then you're popped into a payment plan where you're roughly sending over 5% every quarter, which turned out to be about £7,200 per quarter or £2,400 per month over the 2-year construction period. So you can see that then goes on for the next 2 years up until handover. Typically, 3 months before handover, we put you in touch with a mortgage broker. They can put a product in place to make that lump sum final payment if you want to go down the finance option. If you want to pay cash, you've always got that option as well. Okay, so that's how much it's going to cost us, but we're investors. So how much are we getting out of this investment? The first side of this then is your cash flow. So Imtiaz have a fantastic track record in the market. They have delivered time and time again for the investors. That's why their investors keep coming back to them. But what makes this a good example for us to run through is because they have completed on previous projects, it gives us live data in the market to use. They've actually just handed over on a very similar project, so it gives us a good comparable to use. I jumped in. I looked at the live tenant data. So this is a project that's just handing over. So we've got new tenants moving in, new rental contracts coming in, and I pulled a live report of what we're looking at and working with here. So you can see anything from like 60,000 AED per year up until about 84,000. This is for a studio again. Okay, so we pop that into the calculator. Worst case scenario, guys, I'm being very conservative here. I'm working with the lowest number, the 60,000, because I would always as an investor prefer to under promise, over deliver. So that's looking at about £12,600 in terms of your rental income. Next, we need to take out service charges because we need to make sure we are looking at the net figures. So your service charge, that is going to include everything that this building comes with. We're talking saunas, swimming pools, the maintenance of it all, your lifeguards, your concierge. That one lump sum fee is going to come out of that total, leaving you with the guts of like £11,000 per year, a net yield of 7.5%. Again, you can see how conservative I'm being because in reality, rents typically increase 10% a year. This building, it's going to be newer with better facilities and all that good stuff. But I'd prefer you to be happy with worst case scenario. Anything else is then a win. So your cash flow is one side of the investment. The second side is our capital appreciation. So again, rolling through this example that we've got, because it's just a really good example, a really good comparable that we can use in the market. The investors that were buying with these guys 2 years ago were buying a studio apartment at roughly 100k British. They are selling them today, 2 years later at handover for 150,000. So that is a 50% increase in a 2-year period. But this is where it gets fun for us, okay? So it's on a 50-50 payment plan. So as an investor, you are putting 50% down over the construction period. This particular investor would have put about £50,000 in, selling it 2 years later and getting about £100,000 out of it. So that's 100% return on the capital invested. So you're basically doubling your money in a 2-year period. Beth, that makes so much more sense. Okay, I'm glad it's making sense. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. All my job is to try and make it as simple as possible. But when you see it like this and you break down what actual cash is actually needed to get involved, then it kind of brings it to life a little bit more. I need to see the photos, see the products, see the numbers for it to start to make sense to me. And this is when it actually really started to sink in. Is when I was sat down with an investor and they had a very real problem. They didn't know whether to use the UK market or the Dubai market. And we sat down, we looked at both avenues. Okay, they had 500,000 Great British that they were going to put into an apartment in London. That property was going to give them an annual rental income of 20,000 per year. Now you had your ground rent, your service charge, that was going to take about 4,000 off. So net returns they could expect to see was going to be £16,000, a 3.2% yield, which in the London market, that is seen as a solid, fair investment, I'll be honest, okay? We can take that same capital but put it into a Dubai project, and these were the figures it was spitting out at us. So 500k again in, same amount in. Your annual rent was looking at 37,700. Typically, like I mentioned earlier, 8% yields. Your annual expenses, they were higher, £9,700. So once you were taking that out, the net returns were 28,000. So you're nearly doubling your rental income per year, 5.6% net yield. But for me, what genuinely made it a no-brainer was this final line here. So last year, the UK capital appreciated at 4.7%, meaning that initial 500k investment was going to be worth 523,000 1 year later. 500k in the Dubai investment market, capital appreciating at 27.5%, would have resulted in £637,000. So in year one alone, with the additional income you're receiving from your rental income, plus the increase in terms of what you're going to expect to see in your capital appreciation, you were up £126,000 in year one alone. So this is going to compound as each year goes by. And for me, when I saw it like that, that is where it really, really became a no-brainer. So if we haven't met before, then a very warm welcome. I am Katie. I am a UK property investor myself, helping a lot of you guys build wealth through property. I have been in the property space now for like 5 years, which is crazy. Never ever meant to. I completely fell into the property space. Before that, I was actually in IT for an insurance company. And I was actually looking for a property for myself to live in, to buy. And as I was doing that, I was sharing my journey on social media. And then people started to reach out like, hey, could you help me do something similar? And I was like, okay, well, this could be fun. And that's where I started property sourcing. So I would find really good investments, sell them on to my clients for a fee. And I was growing my portfolio at the same time. One thing led to another. We helped thousands of clients all over the world invest in the UK property market. I had been backwards and forwards to the Dubai market for like 3 years. I officially made the move in September, but my mission has always been the same, making investing as simple as possible. And that is exactly what we're here to do tonight. We're going to run through exactly how you can unlock all this for yourself. Okay, so you've already mentioned it, okay? We are seeing it everywhere. Dubai is literally booming. Everywhere you look, every article that you see, billions and billions and billions of pounds are pouring in to this market. Millionaires are moving here every single day. It isn't just the millionaires. This is like the big professional funds, the huge, huge, huge corporations that we know and love. They're all moving their headquarters over here. And when I see that, I'm like, hang on a minute. Why is this happening? Why is Dubai outperforming other markets? Because understanding the past is really going to help us predict the future. And from being here, from being on the ground, I genuinely put it down to 3 things: vision, strategy, and execution. The vision. Dubai, in everything they do, every way, shape, or form, their mission statement is to make Dubai the best city in the world. Dubai knew oil was not going to be their future. Okay, they needed to shift gear, and that's where this mission statement came in from. The vision to make Dubai the best city in the world, and every decision they make is to make this happen. So the strategy, the how they make this happen. They know in order to do that, they need to attract wealth, they need to attract investment, and they need to attract top tier talent. So they created a 2040 plan. We've mentioned it already. And there is so much good stuff in this 2040 plan. One of the main things to remember, because we're going to touch on it later on, is that they want to double the population by 2040. Now, the population, we are just about to hit 4 million. Okay, they are onto something good here. And in doing that, they knew they needed to create a place to magnetize people. They needed to create a place where people actually wanted to live if they wanted to increase the population. So a few things they've implemented to make that happen. Firstly, the tax benefits. There is a huge immediate financial benefit to anyone wealthy moving here because they're not going to pay any tax. Another thing they do very, very well is the safety. Every single year, Dubai tops the charts, one of the safest places to live. And all those stories that you hear, they are true. I can leave my laptop in a coffee shop. People leave their front doors unlocked because it's genuinely a very, very safe place to live, meaning it's attracting a lot of families. There's no better place to bring up children. The schools, the environment, the everything, because it's just such a safe environment. Making investing easy. Okay, they knew if they want to incentivize investment, if they want to bring money in, they need to knock down every single barrier. They need to make it as easy as possible. And I am not joking, guys. It couldn't be easier. This is not a complicated thing to do. I am talking Apple Pay, DocuSign, the property is yours. It is super, super easy. Incentivizing investments, okay? They actually rewarding investors for bringing their money into the country. They're doing this through visas, so many different schemes to actually say thank you for bringing your money in. We're going to look after you for it. And I think the only reason they can do this is all down to the execution. And I actually found this really, really fascinating because I come from a place where every 4 years, parties compete to get to the number one spot, okay? And then they have 4 years in power to turn around a whole country. Make it make sense. It's never going to work. Whereas here, they have one leadership, one mission, everyone's swimming in the same direction, meaning they can have a much longer term vision. Tell me where else you can have a 2040 master plan in place. Not only that, they've got the financial backing to actually make it happen, which always helps. And they have the track record of delivering. Everyone knows when they're going to say they do something, they do it. We're going to have the world's tallest building. They've done it. We're going to build our own man-made island on the sea. They have done that. But even like, look at the small things. When there's an issue with traffic, 2 weeks later, there's a new bridge. We're flying over it. Traffic issue resolved. Everyone has complete faith, complete trust that when they're going to say something, they actually deliver on it as well. So that's all great, okay, but how does that actually benefit us as investors? And it comes down to the very, very fundamentals of investing in any asset class, demand and supply, okay? So if we have a population which is increasing, so these are the stats for the last 3 years. You can see every single year, the growth rate has increased. Now, where capital appreciation has absolutely soared is because you can see the amount of people that are moving to the country versus the number of units being handed over. We are not keeping up with the amount of demand. Hence, the demand and supply are out of balance, and that is why we have seen capital appreciation go through the roof. And one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, well, will it continue? Am I too late? And usually that is being asked because people don't understand the vision. They don't know what's happening here and they don't have access to the data. Okay, I'm very much a data-led investor. So if they have the 2040 plan to double the population, this growth rate, it's going nowhere. Okay, we are not slowing down there. And in terms of the units handed over, not only you've got to think of all the people moving to Dubai, you also have a very, very competitive environment because those units that are being handed over, it's not just end users buying them to live in. These are being bought by investors who are renting them out on Airbnb because don't forget, Dubai is one of the most visited cities in the world. 18 million visitors last year. There was 10 million visitors in H1 of this year. It is only getting bigger. It's only getting better. And so many people go, I am too late. I'm too late. I've missed out. Quite honestly, this place is just getting started. We celebrated the 53rd birthday last year. My parents are older than Dubai itself. So honestly, it is just getting started. We are just warming up. There is so much opportunity going on in this environment. Is that all making sense? Just drop a yes in the chat for me if that is all starting to sink in. We've got some good questions rolling through too as well. We are going to look at locations. That is next on the list. So just hold up there. We are going to run through. Fantastic. That's making sense to a lot of people. So let's jump through. Okay. When I go through all that good stuff, people are like, okay, let's go. Where do I start? And that's exactly what I want to run through because don't get me wrong, Dubai is the most phenomenal property market right now. Tell me where else that is all happening. However, I don't want you to just think you can throw your money at the market and be an overnight millionaire. It's not going to happen. We need to navigate this very, very carefully because we work hard for our money. We want to make sure we are maximizing that upside. So there's a few things that we can go through to make sure that we're doing that. Because the Dubai market can be very, very overwhelming. So we're going to start with what your goal is. Every single dot on that map is a new project that is coming to market. I am not kidding. Every 18 hours, there is a new property launch. As someone who is in property full time, this feels overwhelming. This is like, whoa, where do we start? So this is why we're going to help you navigate it all. Not only do you have an awful lot of properties coming to market, they're also being sold just as quickly. These launches come and go. They sell out on launch day. You have developers making us queue overnight in line to secure these units. The good units with the good developers, they go quickly because they are fantastic investments. And it's knowing how to navigate that. Like, I'm not kidding. A lot of these launches, you're putting a raffle ticket in for your opportunity to buy one. It doesn't even guarantee you a unit. So the market, it is fast paced. We need to know how to navigate it. That's why we start with our goal. What is our why? Because everyone has a different reason for investing. So naturally, I'm going to point you in different directions. Guys, if you know the reason why you are investing, put them in the chat. I would be interested to see, because everyone needs something different out of their investment. And there is no right or wrong, okay? Some people are looking to cover the school fees. Others are wanting to set it and forget it. A retirement fund, they're looking for capital appreciation. Usually it's between capital appreciation, or maybe you're looking for rental yield so you can retire. Whatever that looks like for you, it's important for us to know, because it's going to drive our purpose. It's going to help us understand the end game of what we're trying to achieve, because that's going to help us whittle down and focus our search. It's going to help us cross off a lot of these dots on that map. Understanding our why, understanding our main purpose, then understanding where we are right now. And I'm talking budgets and timeframes is going to help us then even further whittle down the options that are available to us. If we can understand where we are right now and where we want to be, we can find the best project that's going to bridge that gap. Okay, we have a lot of different options coming in here. We've got capital appreciation and cash flow. You want both? Let's go. We can do it. We can make that happen. We've got fantastic. Some looking for financial freedom, some looking for capital appreciation, looking to start a portfolio, starting out. You guys, we are in the right space. And like I said, there is no wrong answer to that question, but it's important to know for yourself what you want out of it, because then it's going to help us navigate the market and get us in the right position. So once you start there, we can then start to look at the different fundamentals of our investment. First things first, I'm going to start with types of properties. This sounds simple, but it was a question I had when starting out, so I imagine other people are going to have it too. Apartments. Apartments here are, you know what an apartment is, right? Okay, but the important thing to know is that even apartments here are freehold. Now, I was in Bali not so long ago. Couldn't help myself, had to look at the property market, didn't I? And they were saying, okay, you can buy this, you can renovate it, you can do X, Y, and Z, but in 99 years, we'll take it back off you. It's never yours. And I'm like, hang on, what? Because it's leasehold over there. And I think you hear these horror stories, and naturally people then get concerned about investing internationally. I am here to tell you, these properties, whether it's apartment, villa, townhouse, they are freehold, they are yours, they are going nowhere because they are freehold. Even the apartments, because you own the airspace, can be freehold here as well. Townhouses, you may see that term thrown around. It basically means a terraced house. Twin villa is a semi-detached house, two houses stuck together, and a villa is your detached properties, which we're used to in the UK. How that affects your investment. This is why I say we start with the why, because apartments last year, on average, capital appreciated at 23% increase across 2024, whereas villas, on average, were sat at 31% increase. Now, apartments at 23%, fantastic. Tell me where else that is happening. It's still a phenomenal return. But if you are coming to me and saying, Katie, I want maximum capital appreciation and your budget allows, I always come back to the numbers. Villas is definitely what I'd be recommending. So understanding what we want out of it is going to help us point us in the right direction. Next up, developers. Now this is an important one. Developers can make or break our investment. They carry a lot of weight over here. If I was doing the same presentation on the UK property market, this slide wouldn't exist. They aren't a big thing over there. But over here, they carry a lot of weight. Your developer is essentially your brand. It determines whether we are buying Primark, whether we are buying Prada. It's going to determine our quality, the materials, the standard. It's going to determine if they're going to deliver on time. For us as investors, time is money. If a developer is 6 months late on our investment, that is 6 months rental income we've missed out on. Okay, so it's really, really important. Every single developer has a different unique selling point, and I would recommend different ones for different things. And this is why we start with that why, because it's going to help us point us in the right direction. Some will come furnished, some are better for better payment plans. For example, EMAR, if you have been to Dubai, let me know if you've been to Dubai in the chat, guys. You will have seen EMAR written on, plastered everywhere, on every single building. Okay, they did Burj Khalifa, they did downtown, they did Dubai Hills. They are a government-backed developer. They know what's good. They have a huge, huge market share. They have great quality products, great communities, fantastic developer. I would only recommend those to my cash buyers because their payment plans are 80-20. Meaning you are going to need 80% of the capital throughout that construction period. When my investors are trying to leverage as much cash as possible, that isn't the best option for them. There's different developers we can be looking at where we can leverage a little bit more cash. Does that make sense? So every developer is different. There's no right or wrongs. Knowing the goal is going to help us navigate which one we go to. And the developers are going to affect our investment again massively. I can show you in the same area, 2 buildings side by side. One will capital appreciate higher, one will offer higher rental returns purely because of the developer that's behind it. And Tom is here. Tom does a lot of work in the completed market. He will justify this for you. He will say, we get so much demand for a certain type of developer because they build high quality finishes. They know they're going to stand the test of time. They build the best facilities around, meaning tenants want to stay there, end users want to live there, meaning we can set the price, meaning the capital appreciation there because there is just a higher demand for the products. If we are looking for that maximum numbers, we're going to be wanting to work with those types of developers so that we know we've got a demand for the product so we can really maximize both capital appreciation and your rental income. Locations. Okay. Locations is a fundamental when you are buying anywhere in the world. This is not unique to Dubai, but it's worth noting, okay? If you have been here on holiday, which it looks like a lot of you have, you will definitely have seen Burj Khalifa in downtown. You may have visited the Palm Jumeirah and even Dubai Marina. They are like the holiday hotspots. That's where a lot of the tourists, the visitors go. And they are very, very much completed communities. Early investors in those areas have done phenomenally well. I know someone who bought an off-plan apartment on the Palm for 50,000 Great British pounds. That same apartment is 10, 20 expensive, but he's laughing all the way to the bank, okay? He's done really, really well out of that investment. But now those areas, they are more of a completed community, which gives us more safety, more security, but you're not going to see those insane early capital appreciation growth because it's a much more mature community. Now, Dubai is still offering a lot of those newer communities. In terms of what's going on here and what's happening, we have Dubai South. There's a lot going on in that space because there's a brand new airport going in there. Literally 3 times of the current airport we've got. It's going to host 250 million visitors per year. There's going to be 1 million people just working in it alone. So Dubai South, there's a lot going on. There's the events capital going on down there. So in terms of like new areas and what's going on, that's thriving. We've also got Palm Jebel Ali. They took all the learnings from Palm Jumeirah and in true Dubai style, they're going bigger, they're going better, and they've introduced Palm Jebel Ali. So you can start to see the development of Dubai is going further south. We've got the Etihad rail taking you to Abu Dhabi in 20 minutes. There's so much stuff going on. And again, we have to start with the why. What are you trying to get out of here? Because if you're coming to me looking for capital appreciation, well, I'm going to say, Waterfront properties, golf course communities, looking at the data, outperform every single time. And that's not unique to Dubai. They're a golden asset class. We look across the world globally. Waterfront properties, golf course communities outperform every single time. If you're looking for capital appreciation, I'm probably going to put you in an area where we're getting cheaper price points, but where the rental yields are still high demand. So pound for pound, we're getting maximum capital appreciation. So location, there's a lot going on in Dubai. There's literally a new community popping up every single time, but understanding that end game of what we want out of it, again, is going to help us navigate which areas we're going to be looking at. How the location can affect your investment. These are some of the numbers behind it. As I mentioned, if you're coming for highest yields last year in 2024, the 3 areas that were the highest performing in terms of your yields were very, very different areas to those on the highest capital appreciation. Those that topped the charts for capital appreciation, it's no surprise that they were all villa communities. Villas are in such short supply over here. And because Dubai is attracting business owners, wealthy people, families, they're needing the space and there's simply not enough supply. Hence why villas have gone through the roof. Whereas if you're looking for the capital appreciation, pound for pound, that rental income, alternative options, all of these options sit inland. They're lower price point, but they are strategically placed where there's still a high rental demand. So we're just maximizing those yields. Again, no right or wrong, but understanding our end game is going to help us navigate it all. Next up, off plan versus completed. Again, no right or wrong, okay? Your completed environment, or also known as the secondary market over here, is very, very what we're used to in the UK. We can touch the product, we can see the product. It is what is already created on the open market, okay? If you are coming to me saying you're looking for immediate cash flow, this is the space we're going to be looking for. Typically, you're going to see a few higher purchase fees on this side of things, and that's mainly because in the off-plan world, the developers suck up a lot of those costs. But if you're looking for immediate cash flow, completed is definitely the space that we need to go. And you'll be very familiar with how that works because it's very much a traditional role. The off-plan side of things, also known as the primary market, is where you are buying off-plan. It is not created yet. It is not built yet. 60% of purchases last year were in this space. Typically, it's the cheapest time to buy off the developers directly. It gives you an opportunity to get into an area early and leverage that capital appreciation. With that as well, you also get payment plans, meaning sometimes it's a little bit more accessible to get in and get involved. And one of the main reasons a lot of my clients like it is the visa order is in the correct order for a lot of them. It's kind of like a little bit chicken and the egg when it comes to the visa. In your completed space, you could buy your property and then apply for your visa. Now, at that point, you've got your visa, but you've already had your mortgage in place, so you're able to get the benefits of having your visa. Whereas in the off-plan world, you're able to secure a unit. In that construction period, you can get your visa set up. So by the time you're at handover, you're actually in a place holding the visa to unlock the preferable mortgage rates as well. So it just seems to flow in a little bit of an easier order as well. Again, no right or wrong, but it's something you're going to have to navigate based on your end goals and what you want out of the investment. So in terms of maximizing your upside, there's a lot of different ways we can do it. I would always say start with that goal, start with the end in mind, understand exactly where we want to be, where we are now, so we can bridge that gap. It's then going to help us identify what locations we need to be looking in, what developers we want to be working with, whether it's off-plan, whether it's completed, and types of properties. It sounds like a lot to go through, but it's really, really important because each one of those fundamentals has a huge impact on our end game, the returns, which is why we're here in the first place. And this is just a note to say you do not have to navigate this all alone. This is what we do every day. This is what we're here to help you with. So if you do want any support putting this into action, that is what we are here to do, okay? We actually have like free consultations. I'll ask Tom, if you don't mind, just popping the link in for everyone, where you can book yourself in on a call. We understand where you are right now, where you want to be, and based on that conversation, we can start to kind of pinpoint locations, developers, and try and point you in the right direction, help you as much as you want. But it isn't a one size fits all. So if you need any more support on that, definitely jump in and we can help you along with that as well. Perfect. But if I'm going to help you understand how to maximize the upside, best believe I'm going to go through how we mitigate our downside as well. So let's go. Let's dive in. How do we do this safely? How do we do this securely? Very, very good question. And one of the biggest questions I get asked is Dubai a safe place to invest? And it is a very good question, because especially if you are looking to Dubai as a new market, there's so many different unknowns, so much more uncertainty in buying in a new market. We want to make sure our money is safe. We work hard for it, okay? We don't want to just throw it away and never see it again, okay? We want to make sure it's safe, secure, so that we can buy confidently. The short answer to that question is Dubai a safe place to invest? The short answer is yes, okay? But don't just take my word for it, okay? We're going to go through exactly how it's safe, how to make sure you're safe. If we roll back a little bit, and you remember I was talking about Dubai wanting to attract investment, wanting to become the best city in the world, it knows in order to deliver that, in order to make that happen, in order to attract investment, it has to create an environment that's transparent, create an environment that's open and safe, because horror stories is not going to really fly very well for them. So they put a few things in place to make this happen and to make it very, very secure and very, very safe. First one being the REST app. Beth, love to see you booked in. Look forward to chatting with you. The REST app, okay. If you are buying property, renting property, looking at the property market in any way, shape or form, you will want to download this app. It's a free app from the Dubai Land Department. It's a government app. Everything that goes on in the property market here is on this app. Every transaction, it is open, it is transparent. On paper, when we are looking at investments, off plan is a riskier investment, okay? On paper it is. It's not even completed yet. It's not built yet. There's a lot more risk that comes with that. So Dubai go, okay, well, how are we going to make this a safe environment for people to invest in, to encourage it? They created this app, and in order for any project to get uploaded onto this app, developers have to jump through a lot of hoops to get it on. Firstly, being land ownership, okay? This one sounds basic, but it's important. I worked in the Manchester market, and I saw developers launch projects they didn't even own the land yet, okay? They were taking deposits, they were taking money, and they hadn't even bought the land, okay? So they make sure, firstly, that they own the land, basic, okay? Second of all, that they have all the planning, all the approvals, all the checks in place, the licenses, everything, all the go ahead to make this happen. The next one, funding. If we look around the market in the whole world, 90% of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, an off-plan project doesn't make it to completion is because of funding. So Dubai went, okay, we need to make sure that, firstly, the developers can prove they've got the funding for this. But secondly, we want them to put some skin in the game. They have to put 20% down into an escrow account that's locked away until they deliver on what they said they're going to deliver. That way, they've got some skin in the game to add that extra layer of protection. But the escrow accounts, and this one's the really, really important one, and actually a lot of people don't know about it, but your escrow accounts are going to protect us. All those different monthly payments that you're paying towards a payment plan, it doesn't go directly to the developer. It's going to an escrow account, which is basically like a middleman between you and the developer. So your money gets deposited into the escrow. The developer doesn't have access to that money until they deliver on what they have promised. They cannot withdraw funds until they are doing what they said they're going to do. Again, that gives you a lot of security as an investor. Also, on terms of this REST app, you are also going to be able to monitor the whole build progress on this app as well. So everything's happening in here, guys. Definitely worth having a look. They then also put the RERA, RERA, in place, the Real Estate Regulatory Agency, which is part of the Dubai Land Department. Basically, to put it simply, they are the police of the property world. They set the rules, they enforce them. They are the ones who are doing all the checks of that previous slide. They're making sure the licenses are in place, the escrow accounts are in place. They're checking on where they are on construction. They are making sure every box is ticked. They are making sure you are super, super safe as investors, that the developers are safe, that tenants are safe. They are doing their bit to make it happen. So Dubai do everything in their power to make it very, very safe. But I always say we triple lock this safety and this security by only working with the gold standard of developer. It's like why you go to Starbucks. You know, you could go to Starbucks anywhere in the world and they are going to deliver a cup of coffee. Because we're going to work with the gold standard of developer who have the track record of delivering. We can go down, we can see their previous projects, we can see the quality, the build material, did they finish on time? We know they have the team, the vision, the resources around them to make it happen. Investing in the gold standard of developer is going to give you that confidence to invest. There's nothing worse than thinking, oh my God, I've got this investment over in Dubai and worrying about it for 3 years. There's no need to, okay? We work with the very, very best so you can buy with confidence and make it happen. So Dubai do everything in their power to make sure it's as safe as possible. The biggest mistake I see clients make is through misinformation. And this one, it feels like I'm preaching to the choir probably right now because you guys are all in the right room. You're doing your research before you're getting into the market. But this one is crazy. And honestly, nothing breaks my heart more than when a client goes to me, oh, I bought this off plan 2 years ago. The agent said it was going to triple in value. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. Look at the investment itself. The developer has not got a track record of delivering anything. And if it is, it's never on time. And they still have stock. They still have inventory. So how can you charge a premium for your product 2 years down the line when an investor can still go straight to the developer and buy it with a payment plan in place? It's not going to make sense. And honestly, it breaks my heart because a lot of the time, it isn't their fault. Okay, you do not know what you don't know. They have been misadvised. And I see it all the time. This one's a difficult one because I'll get asked and they're like, oh, Katie, I've seen this developer everywhere. They must be good, right? And I'm like, yeah, their marketing team are fantastic. Those CGIs are incredible. It's a shame about the development side of things. And it's knowing those differences between the two to make it happen and just making sure you are super safe, super secure, and you are ready to go. So knowing who to work with is a really, really important one. You're going to have 3 different types of people that you work with over here. The first one we have is developer sales agents. This is going to a developer directly. Now, they are a phenomenal knowledge base. They know their product inside out, upside down. However, they are going to be biased. Okay, I'll tell you that now. You go to any single developer anywhere in the world and they truly, honestly believe their product is the best product since sliced bread because it's the only thing that they can sell. So that's the one thing I'd just be a little bit cautious of there. Next up, you have the completed market agents. Now, completed market agents specialize in an area. They are the local experts. They are phenomenal, and a good one is worth their weight in gold. Okay, they are going to know the inside out, upside down of a particular community. A good one should be able to tell you what number 5 went for, what number 4 went for, what number 7's renting out for, when number 8 are leaving. They are extremely knowledgeable, and I say if you're an end user who has picked the community that you want to live in, they are going to help you so much, and they're the guys that we need to be working with. Then finally, you have buyer's agents, and they work for you. They're someone with access to the entire market. They're going to give you unbiased guidance. I would say for my investors, you're probably going to sit in this pool so they can give you that whole market overview and then take you to the experts where needed. A good agent is definitely going to save you a lot of time, make you a lot of money. The pace here It is insane, okay? It's not your job to stay on top of everything. They are going to give you the knowledge, the insights to guide you correctly. It's like those teeny tiny details of like, okay, well, he was the ex-CEO of EMAR, so they're going to create a phenomenal product, and getting you in early on these investors and helping you in terms of locations, the new areas, what you need to know to stay on top of everything that's going on here. That you can also leverage their relationships. I have seen it on launch day, genuinely. One call to the right person can get you to the top of the list. It is insane. It's definitely a relation-based business over here. Not only that, but they are going to be on the ground doing the running around in this heat so that you don't have to. When I talked about those people queuing overnight, that's not you. You don't have to worry about that, okay? When you are looking at getting into the rooms, making it happen, they can do all that, but on your behalf for you. So they're going to save you a lot of time. They're going to make you a lot of money. If you aren't already in it, guys, you should definitely jump into our WhatsApp community. Over there, I'm at like in peak season, like between 3 and 4 briefings a week. The good ones, they make it to that group. This one was one example that we sent over in November. This was early access to an exclusive community before anyone else. You could have got in there at 1.4 million, literally less than 6 months later. That project's now launched on the market at 1.6, 15% increase, less than 6 months. And that is what we do, okay? It's what we're trying to do. Make sure you're getting early, making sure you've got all the right information to make it happen. Another amazing client win. We had Sam, who's a UK investor. He is a business owner. He's actually since moved over. We've been working together. He's built a phenomenal portfolio, genuinely. And this was one of the earlier investments that we did together. This one, we were going backwards and forwards on a few different things. And I saw this, I was like, you need to take a look at this. He absolutely loved it. Purchased on the launch for 400,000. That was for a 2-bedroom plus study. And I saw on the data today, those same units, 2 plus study, are being sold for 527,000. In 5 months, that's a 30% increase, which is genuinely insane. And that's where it kind of pays just to have those knowledge, to have those insights, to get you in early on those launches, because honestly, the market, it's a phenomenal time to get involved. Chloe is another fantastic client, a UK business owner. She's a mum with another one on the way. She's literally superwoman, and has secured a unit with us. She wanted something she can set and forget, okay? 35,000 to secure this unit. You can see the types of yields that that property is going to deliver for her as well. Another fantastic win. Guys, if you do want any help doing the same, it is what we do. I said at the start, we would give you the opportunity to work with us if you so wanted to. So I have opened up some free consultations for everyone on the back of the webinar. If you've sat here for an hour listening to me chatter, I know you must be interested in the Dubai market. So we have opened up some Calendly and some availability. If you do want to look at what this market could offer for you, if you want to take the next step, if you want to get involved, use that link, book your free consultation. This is exactly how it's going to work. You're going to use that link to book a call. On that call, we are going to take the time to understand where you are now and where you want to be. If we think we can help, we're going to start talking tailored options. At this point, we can actually start to navigate locations, price points, units, floor plans that are going to work for you, because it isn't one size fits all, that is for sure. These consultations, guys, they are completely free. What I would just say is put as much information in that booking form as you possibly can. It's going to save you time. It's going to save us a lot of time in the fact that I can show up to those calls with all the information. I can have some projects ready to go. Equally, sometimes you don't know where you want to be just yet. That is okay. We're going to, that's what we're here to do. We're helped to here navigate it all. So don't stress, okay? And if it's the fact that you aren't quite there yet, maybe you are ready to go and we can discuss options. Maybe you're not quite there yet. We can put a plan in place and help you understand what that needs to look like for you to get started over here. So if you are interested in getting involved, jump in, use the link, book yourself a slot. I would just say, if you are kind of interested based on everything that we've gone through, my personal advice would be just get in and start that conversation as early as possible, because every single client that I work with says the same. Every single time they're like, I just wish I'd gotten sooner, like genuinely, because there is so much opportunity. Okay, so while everyone's doing that, I am going to jump through some Q&A. Now, before the call, we had some questions fire in, so I've got some preloaded already, but pop yourself any other questions that have come to mind throughout the session. Start to put them in the chat. I will get to as many as we humanly can possible. Guys, the Calendly calls are free, okay? We need to understand where you are, where you want to be, and help you navigate it all. So yeah, jump on in. It would be amazing to chat to as many as possible. So Q&A, let's do it. Let's go. If you do have any other questions though, guys, just start putting them in the chat and we will get round to as many as possible. Okay, do I need to be in Dubai for this process? Very, very good question. The short answer is no. We can do this all remotely. There's so much we can do now with Zoom, video tours, virtual reality, all that good stuff. You do not have to be in the country to make a purchase. However, if you want to be, even better. Do you know, if you want to make a business trip out of this, I am not going to stop you, okay? Let's go. Let's make it happen. We can take you to show apartments. We can do all that good stuff too if you want to. But equally, a lot of my clients don't come over. So it's entirely up to you, whatever makes you feel more comfortable, more confident. Are mortgages available for international investors? Finance, this is a big question we get asked all the time. International investors and local investors, there are a lot of mortgage options available to you. 50% of purchases over here are made with finance, okay? So it's happening all the time. It's happening every single day. There are a lot of different mortgage options available. Again, if you're booking a call, we can discuss all that. We can point you in the right direction in terms of mortgage brokers, all that good stuff to understand what exactly that could look like for you. What are the mortgage rates? I'm going to give some blanket advice here because everyone is slightly different. Everyone's circumstances are slightly different. I would say expect to see anything from like 3.5 to 4.5%. Don't quote me on it. Just use it as a rough figure. If you do need any more help specifics on your personal investment, that's what those calls are for. So just get yourself booked in if you want to talk that in a little bit more detail. Should I buy in a company name? Okay, I am glad this one has come up because this one, my UK investors forget everything you know. Okay, I would say back in the UK, I'd say 95 to 98% of my clients would buy in a company name. Over here, it is literally the reverse. I'd say 95 to 98% of people buy in their personal name. Now, there are a few reasons why. In your personal name over here, income is tax-free, capital gains is tax-free. So the UK, we do that typically for the tax saving benefits. Over here, there's not need to. Also, to set up a company is an extra cost. You've got the accounts each year. So if anything, it adds to the cost in terms of setting it up in a company. You can buy it in a company. And having said that, I've got a handful of clients that say, actually, when you look at their whole global landscape of their different businesses, their different companies, doing that for them and opening a company to buy property through helps them save money elsewhere. So always speak to the expert on it. I'd say in general, most people buy in their personal name. It is possible to buy in a company name. Again, take that personal advice. If you've got advisors in that space, fantastic. If you need one, let me know. We can help you out. How do we get the golden visa? Okay, this is a good one. In the investment space, there are two different types of visas. You have the investment visa, which starts at 750k AED, 150k British. And that unlocks a 2-year visa for you. The golden visa is a 10-year visa, and that is unlocked when your property value is worth 2 million AED or above. So that works out to be approximately about 400k British. Remember, this isn't all cash required. You can leverage, you can have finance. As long as the property value is over those thresholds, that is when those are unlocked for you. Does that make sense? Can the investment for the visa amount be spread over multiple properties? It most certainly can. Great point. Okay, so your those amounts that I mentioned, the 750, the 2 million AEDs, they can be split over multiple properties. So it does not have to be in one investment. You can start to build up your portfolio and unlock it that way. You can do it in any which way. It does not have to be in just one property. Is there additional cost for the visa? Typically, I'd say yes. You're going to have a small cost to actually open the visa once the property is yours, and then at renewal. Also, it's interesting to say at renewal, obviously your 2-year one's going to need renewing more. As long as you still own the property, you can apply for a renewal and continue that license as long as you still own the property. Your visa is tied to the property. So if you sell the property, your visa goes with it. Just an important one to know. Renewal of visas. Again, Leo, I've just seen your question on that one. There will be a small cost. Sometimes developers throw in like an incentive here and there to cover the costs of like visa setup initially, but budget for it because on renewals, it's going to be yours. Okay, no one can take that away from you, and there are small costs to renew that. Okay, Tom, is there any other questions that you saw coming in there for us? Fire away. Okay, I'm not sure whether you can hear that, guys, but we had a question from Chris, I think it is, who's asking if you can sell a property before it's handed over. And that's actually a really good question. I'm glad you asked it. I should have mentioned this. So every single developer has different terms, but typically once you have reached a certain percentage, let's say 30% of your payments, that's when you can start to resell it in the open market. I would always say, especially if you're looking for this flip, if you're looking to get in and get out, try and hold on to that property as long as you can. I mean, I'm a holder, okay? I would say hold on for it forever. But if you are looking to get out of the property, I would say try, if you can, to at least hold off until your handover and completion. The reason I say this is when we're buying off plan, really, a lot of the time it has to be an investor who's going to buy that, because realistically, how does a family know where they're going to be in 4 years' time? They may have another child, they may need to be near different schools. It's just not going to work. So that's why investors get a win, they get in early, and developers incentivize them to do that. So by the time it comes to handover and completion, your property is built. Okay, it is ready to go, meaning we've opened up another market of people, increasing the demand, increasing our price, because suddenly we've got a product that you can touch, see, end users can now buy it, finance is now available, you're going to see the biggest uplift. So if you can, I always say try and hold on. However, you can, depending on your contract, sell it before handover. Typically, another investor or someone else will buy you out of the payments that you've made up to that date, and they will continue the payment plan, which is nice to know because it means that for whatever reason, life changes, right? If you need to get that capital out, if you need to get it moving, if you need to invest it somewhere else, you've got that exit plan if you need to. I hope that answers that one.
Absolutely. Just had one more here from Sarah who said, Katie, if you were me, it's my first property investment and I'm from the UK. Is to buy a better bet as a first time investor?
Oh, good question. I don't know whether everyone can hear this. Tom's just helping me with some of the questions. So, as a first-time investor, is the UK a better bet than Dubai? Is to summarize the question. And it is a very, very good question. Listen, I am from the UK. It's always going to be home. I am very, very fond of the UK. I'm a UK investor myself. But I'm also a very much a numbers-based investor. Me personally, I will always hold stuff in the UK, but I am actually moving some of my portfolio over here. The returns, you just cannot compete with them. Again, it always comes down to what your goals, what you want out of it. I know we can get the money working harder in this market, hence why I am shifting my attention to this market personally. Everyone is different. Everyone's got different risk tolerances. Everyone has got different reasons for investing. Here, the market is safe. It is secure. It is the easiest I have ever seen it. A lot easier than getting finance and legals and all that good stuff that's been going on. Honestly, I've been trying to sell a property in the UK for way longer than I should have done. And here the market moves so much quicker, easier. They have got the systems and everything set up right. So the opportunity right now in Dubai is phenomenal. UK will always be home for me, and I'll still always have properties there. But yeah, in terms of returns, I'm a numbers-based investor. I hope that helps navigate it a little bit more. Is there a replay link? Because sadly I have to leave. No problem at all. There will be a replay link, guys. Absolutely. I'll make sure to send it out to everyone at the end of the session. Thank you for joining us. I do really appreciate it. Do you have to pay UK tax on Dubai rental if you plan to stay on? Okay, this is a good one, Georgina. Thank you for sending this one in. Your UK tax, the rules are, and I'm no tax expert, okay? However, if you live in the UK, you will get taxed on your UK earnings as a whole. Now, are there ways to mitigate that to make your tax as efficient as possible? Absolutely. If you need any support with that, book in a call. We can definitely help. There are different ways that you can be as efficient as you possibly can, but the rules are, if you are living in the UK, you will get taxed on your global income and earnings. However, there are different ways that you can make sure you are being as tax efficient as possible, right? We're looking to maximize those returns. If we can save some money there, even better. What is the minimum time you need to stay to use? Okay, thank you for that question, because that isn't something that I covered. In terms of your visas, guys, it is really, really important to note that some of the visas over here, when you're moving, require you to be in the country every 6 months, for example. And it means you've got kind of that commitment to come backwards and forwards. Your investment visas do not require you to do that. Equally, you don't have to set up your visa if you don't want to. If you do want to, you can come and go as you leave. There is no minimum requirement. There's no minimum days in the country because it's an investment visa. Other visas are different. However, your investment visa means you don't actually have any minimum requirement to be here. The only requirement that there would be is if you want to set up your visa, that is the one time you would need to enter the country. So sorry, a business trip, it's gonna have to be, okay? Because for the visas, they do have to do a medical. They do like a lung scan, a blood test, super quick, you're in, you're out, but you physically have to be there to do it. So that's the only time you would ever have to be in the country, is if you were doing some sort of visa. What else do we have? Do we have the same rules apply in Abu Dhabi and other Emirates? Good question. There are a few different tweaks going on in the different Emirates. Again, if you want kind of more tailored advice on each one, because honestly, do you know what? I could chat all day about this. We really have to condense everything into a 1 hour session. But yes, there are different options for you available. And if you want more details on that, book in a call, we can chat them through. But there are certain quirks that you need to be aware of. For example, Russell came in that DLD payment. You don't actually have to pay that until completion, which is really, really nice for investors, because it means you don't have to upfront that cash, especially those who are looking to get in and get out may not have to ever pay that at all. So there are definitely quirks. It isn't a set rule across all the Emirates, just so you know. Do landlords pay agents fees for renting out like they do in the UK? Finton, thank you for the question. They do, and it is a great question. So management in the UK, you can pay someone to do it for you. It's very, very similar here, exactly what you're used to. I'd say typically you're going to see about a 10% charge for that. They can get the tenant in place. They can manage everything in terms of your rental increases. They take that whole headache away from you. Especially doing it internationally, it might just put your mind at rest. And again, make that investment super, super hands off, that financial freedom that a lot of us were in here for. I am seeing the time, so maybe we'll wrap up with 1 or 2 more questions. We've just updated the link. Okay, sorry guys. Tom is just keeping me posted there. I think we ran out of slots. You guys sold us out quicker than Oasis tickets. Let's go. But it sounds like we've got some more, so have no fear. We are here. If you do want any help with that, guys, we have just released a few. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can see those questions. You are get both the questions and the thing. But Beth, I can see you were struggling for appointment. there should be more appointments available for you. That goes for everyone as well, guys. Run with this momentum as well. I think the market is so fast paced. We have sat and chatted about Dubai for a whole hour. Move on that momentum, because honestly, every single client that I work with and help with at the end are like, I just wish I'd started sooner. So if you are in that mindset where you're just like, this looks good, I need to know if it works for me, I need to know more details, if you are ready to take those next steps, or equally, if you're not quite sure what those next steps look like, book in that call. That is what we are here to help you navigate. Okay, a lot of the clients that we work with are UK-based investors. And like I said, before we start talking kind of units, projects, numbers, we have to go through all the good stuff that you do need to do. The visas, the finance, the mortgage, there's so many different questions. We're here to help you navigate it all. So jump on in, book a call. In that time slot, we will understand where you are now, where you want to be, and really try and just navigate it all for you. If we think we can help and we've got some options for you, we will help identify the best projects to help bridge that gap and really start to bring it to life of what exactly that's going to look like for you. And equally, if you're not quite there yet, we can help you get the roadmap and get the plan of maybe what you need. Maybe it's a mortgage conversation. Maybe you need financial advice. We can start to place those jigsaw puzzles together so we can get you in the right position to make it happen. Those slots are completely free. The one thing I would say, just put in as much information as you can so that we can come to the call really, really, really prepared. Guys, I've just seen the time. We have been rolling, and I cannot thank you enough for the questions, the energy, the time, the everything. If you have found that helpful, guys, just do me a massive favor and pop in the comments for me if you found that helpful, what your biggest takeaways were, because if you are finding these helpful, we can do a lot more of them. I am going to make sure that the webinar link is recorded, that it's sent out to everyone. I know I can see that, I can actually see how many questions we've had in, and I appreciate the time, the energy, the questions. I'm going to do an export of every single one of those questions. If we missed any of them, best believe it's going to be in that WhatsApp group. I'll do a follow-up, making sure we hit every single question. So if I haven't got round to answering those, guys, I am sorry. I will make sure every single one is answered. So I appreciate it. Oh, thank you guys for all the long comments. I appreciate it. Okay. We're going to make sure you get the recording. We're going to make sure we go back and get every single question answered. And if you haven't had the link, then make sure you grab it. Tom, pop it in the chat for us one last time so people can grab that link. If you do want a slot, grab that link, book yourself a call in, because there has never been a better time to get involved. Honestly, guys, if you can't tell, I'm pretty hyped about the market, because I know the opportunity, because I know what is going on over here, because I know what can be done, and I can see it every single day. The opportunity is huge. There has never been a better time to buy. So if you want any more help on that, jump on in, use the Calendlies. We will be there. We will be talking to a lot of you over the next couple of days. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your time, your questions, your energy, everything. I will get everything over to you, and hopefully we will see you on the next one. Have a lovely evening, guys, and I'm sure I will see you very, very soon.